Welcome to the Body Buddies podcast, where I teach you how to be the strategist of your own health. We talk nutrition, fitness, and mindset. Get started today at body-buddies.com. Today you're listening to episode number 199, the Power Foods Lifestyle Cheat Sheet. This is a very important episode for you to focus and learn from because we need to cover a lot of ground. And we need to put all of the different puzzle pieces together of misinformation or this principle or this aspect of health. And we need to actually take all those pieces, we need to put them together for you. And the reality is to do so in a manner that you understand. That's going to take a lot of time. That's something the Power Foods Lifestyle Academy is for. That's over 140 video lessons. It's a 12-week online course. So my goal today is to give you the cheat sheet, the quick dive into application of Power Foods Lifestyle principles. Now, the Power Foods Lifestyle is not a method of eating. It is actually an umbrella term that we use to describe a particular application of true and proven principles for health, longevity, digestion, healing, aesthetics changes, whatever it is. And we apply those principles in any nutrition methodology. So whether it's ketosis, whether it's carb cycling, whether it's Mediterranean, whether it's a low carb, high fat or carb cycling, or maybe I'm not a fan of Atkins. We do stay away from the strategies of nutrition that I feel are not right. But there are many that are a very good approach. And so the key is to really learn what's right for you. Again, that's something that the Power Foods Lifestyle Academy can help you with and build your own unique strategy. You can learn more at powerfoodslifestyle.com/enroll. And if we are currently enrolling, we do offer 3 semesters. Then fantastic, you're in. But if you are listening to this after an enrollment period, make sure you put your email address in there and you will be notified when we are enrolling for our next semester. Currently, while I am recording this, we are enrolling starting next Sunday. I believe next Sunday is around the January 6th or so. I don't know. I often don't use dates, but the key is we are enrolling soon, and the best way for you to make sure that you never miss any important message from Body Buddies is to make sure you are following on Facebook. Facebook is Body Buddies, and that is a great way to stay in tune and send me a quick message. You can get a hold of me pretty darn quick if you message me there. All right, let's dive right into the Power Foods Lifestyle basic principles. Now keep in mind, I am reading this cheat sheet. You can download it on www.body-buddies.com, and you can print this out for yourself. So those of you who are watching the YouTube version of this, there's a link below. Those of you listening to this, if you will tap on your smartphone, whatever podcast player you are listening to, in the show notes, I'll give you some links to these very important items. This cheat sheet guide is designed to accompany 2 other very important resources. If you are not willing to do these 3 pieces of homework, you will not succeed with the Power Foods Lifestyle and the longevity, the long-term sustainable lifestyle change, and the true conversion into a healthier mindset around food and your body. I do have to be blunt with you guys because the Power Foods Lifestyle is a re-education on nutrition, so you do need to do these basic requirements. I do believe in you. I do believe in your capacity, your ability to change and to improve and to do better and to start again, no matter how many times it takes to start again. You do have that in you, but let's make it happen this week. So I promise you will thank me later for telling you how critical it is to lay this foundation. I have coached over 5,000 people, and trust me, it's so worth it to take the 1 to 2 weeks of dive in head first, immerse yourself in the information, the rest of it gets easier. So number one thing, after listening to this, I would really love for you to do my tiers training. This is a blog post over at powerfoodslifestyleblog.com. Use the search box to type in tiers and you should find the blog post. There are 5 videos you will need to watch to get trained on the tiers and intensity for this lifestyle. So it's a hierarchy. It helps you eliminate the all or nothing thinking instead of yo-yo diet bandwagon and then off the diet, don't care about a darn thing. We want to exit that mindset and instead set very, very specific steps and guidelines and approaches that are defined so you can have a roadmap into knowing what intensity you are in, because the seasons of your life will change. You will absolutely have different goals, different needs, but there are some fundamental things that must never ever go away from your nutrition if you wish to live a high value energy life. And I think you do, which is why you're listening to this. So make sure you go over and do the tiers training. The second one, and I hesitate to even say this because I don't know if we still have this available, but double check for me. Go to powerfoodslifestyle.com/learn, and I'm gonna have to have my team here check to see if that webinar is still available. Okay, so the Power Foods Lifestyle basic principles are the starting point for phase 1 of your journey. As you seek to implement these principles for 2 to 4 weeks, you will be and have enough experience to begin adapting and becoming more flexible through the rest of phase 1. You may feel better about sticking strictly to the principles, while you may find, based on your lifestyle, your background, and the way you think, you prefer to adapt a few principles to be more closely aligned with what feels right to you. Once you've begun laying the foundation for your lifestyle change with these basic principles, your next step is to read the full book over at powerfoodslifestyle.com, and then you'll be ready to accelerate into phase 2. And that's where transformation lays. So education first is phase 1, then you go for it. People who do that backwards, you can transform your body, but then what? How are you going to sustain that? How are you going to make sure that you have the education and the mindset that traveled with you and not just sabotage it all and waste all of that hard work? I can say that because that did happen to me the first time I transformed my body. My mind and my emotions didn't travel with me. And I had to learn through over 15 times of dialing my body in for whether it was a figure competition or a photo shoot or even a dance concert. I had to learn that there is a vehicle for the mind and the education that you must go on, or else that body will absolutely be sabotaged once you've reached your goal. All right, let's dive into 6 meals a day. Focus on breaking your daily intake into 6 smaller meals per day. Make sure each meal is properly constructed as a PVC, which stands for a combination of protein, veggie, carb, or PVF, which is a combination of protein, veggie, fat. You can even eat a PVCF, which is protein, veggie, carb, fat combinations. By the way, if you want to know what foods represent a carb or a fat or a vegetable or a protein, then go download my free cheat sheet on this. It's over at powerfoodslifestyle.com/self-training. And I think I should have a link. I'll have a link below if you're listening to this on the show notes, or definitely underneath the YouTube caption, okay? All right, so do not stress over exactness in portion sizes in the beginning. It will take 3 to 7 days to ensure you're not overly full, as your digestion will be adapting. Do not force feed full amounts, but at least try to eat a bite of each macronutrient food category at the appropriate time until you have the right balance in portions. Signs that your body is adapting well include fewer IBS symptoms. IBS stands for irritable bowel syndrome, meaning you really let loose. You've got loose stools, often going to the bathroom, higher frequency, but your stools are not well formed and often come at a time that you don't want them to. So that's some symptoms of IBS. You will also have more regular bowel movements, improved mood and energy in the mid-morning and mid-afternoon, as well as fewer blood sugar drops of energy and eating whatever is available. Make sure you set timers to help you remember to eat. Focus on 6 meals a day for 2 to 3 weeks to get your metabolism firing, then consider adapting to a more suitable meal number that works well for you, your body, and your emotions. I will insert my thoughts here. No, do you absolutely have to do 6 meals? No, you do not. However, I have found in coaching, again, over 5,000 people, the majority of people do very well stimulating their metabolism, which is the sum of all of the chemical processes in the body when they are eating small, frequent meals. It's methodical. Your body begins to know the amount of food that's coming in. Your brain is calmed because it knows you're going to be eating every 2.5 to 3 hours. There's no fear. There's no deprivation. It's methodical, consistent fueling of the body. And after 2 to 3 weeks of this, my heavens, so many corrections come in the body. Blood sugar levels are completely, if they were erratical, then they are a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? They're regulated. That's the word I'm looking for. Cholesterol levels drop. Of course, 2 to 3 weeks is just a start. If you're really looking for a sustainable lifestyle change, you're going to want to do blood markers and lab tests after 3 to 6 months. But it's remarkable to see all the numbers of cholesterol drop. We see people really reduce medications. I've taken how many clients? How many clients from like 30 plus medications down to 2 or 3? It's just extremely powerful. So whether it's high cholesterol, whether it's high blood pressure, whether you're dealing with pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, headaches, migraines, you name it, give me the symptom, I promise you we will start to see a big difference. Now, the number of P's and V's and C's and F's, let's now address that. But here's another little quick tip is don't stress if you don't hit all 6 meals. If you're eating within an hour of waking and then fueling your body every 2.5 to 3 hours-ish, be satisfied with the total number of meals that means for you in your waking hours, okay? So don't overstress it. I don't want anyone doing a quick double feeding right before bed. I'd really like that final meal of the day to be about an hour or so before bed. And the truth is, if you're a female, every meal should really not be much more than 3, maybe 400 to 500 calories, depending on what your total caloric goal is. But we are going to talk about macronutrients now. But yes, calories do matter because the macronutrient grams, your proteins and your carbs and your fats, those are what contribute calories. And so a marker of any level of protein or carbs or fats in the body will lead up to the total caloric intake, which all of this we're talking about is simply energy currency. You know, think of it like you have pennies and nickels and dimes, and when you add them all together, what's it worth versus what's it not worth? Now, the body is much more chemically complex than simply a bank account, which is why we can't think of it simply like a bank account. I think that's a great first start for many people, but this training is to take you a step further and create a lot more clarity for those of you who are confused about macronutrients and calories and why you're perhaps plateaued or your metabolism isn't picking up. Let's talk about the PV anchor, protein veggie. For every meal you eat, no matter how strategic, non-strategic, power foods, or grab whatever you can it is, try to make protein and veggies your anchor. An ideal protein source for one of 6 meals, which has a little asterisk, which I will refer to in a second, okay? We'll remember that 6 meals. An ideal protein source for one of 6 meals has 15 to 30 grams of protein with not too much more contribution from carbs and fats. I really discussed that concept in the protein section of the Power Foods Lifestyle book. So if you really want to understand science and numbers and how it all formulates, go read the book. That's your next step. Veggies should be colorful. I just wrote a bikini plan for a girl who wants to compete last night, and she was like, I do not want to do bell pepper. I said, honey, we don't have any vegetables from the water-based vegetables category. There's 4 categories of vegetables in the Power Foods Lifestyle I teach, and I need you to have peppers. Otherwise, you're really having a low source of vitamin C in this diet that we're having her on. And she was like, oh, fine. And I was like, well, good news is you can pick the color. And she just looked at me like I was crazy because I think that's a treat. You can pick the color instead of me telling you exactly what color you need to eat. I think that's fun. So that should create a lot of variety for you as you are seeking to pair your protein and vegetables. Definitely be eating the colors of the rainbow. These all provide different phytonutrients and antioxidants that are helping to detoxify your body on a regular basis. Detoxification cannot be a one-time event. Detoxification happens every day, if not every meal, if you are following the Power Foods Lifestyle protocol. Seek to enjoy a variety throughout the day with each of your meals and snacks. 1 serving is 1 to 2 fists full or cups. So those of you who are watching the YouTube video, I'm holding up my fist here. Please don't be OCD about, oh my gosh, it was like 3/4 of a cup. Oh my gosh. If you really, like many of my clients have seen me with the numbers, cranking it out in Google Sheets and the algorithms of adding up the numbers, and you saw how little, like, what's 1 cup versus 2 cups of vegetables made a difference in macronutrients, you wouldn't stress it. Now, if we're talking health conditions, yes, that may make a difference. Particularly, I will mention this demographic, hypothyroidism, or those people who are prone to goiters. We do want to reduce the amounts of goitrogenic foods, which is your cruciferous vegetables, your broccoli, your cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale. I really don't believe in cutting them. I've talked to many doctors about this, integrative health doctors, mind you. Let's discuss the right type of doctor. And we all agree that it's, keep it to half a cup to 1 cup and just make sure it's cooked. Steamed is one of the best methods and you should be just fine. And then after that initial principle, listen to your body. At the end of the day, each of you, all of us, we have to become detectives of our own body and our own health. These principles are all great starting points, but that's what a client-coach relationship is me taking someone by the hand on a journey to discover for their body what works. And so where you are now listening to a mass training or watching this video, you have to put on the detective's hat to take these basic principles and apply them for you. But I do believe they're very, very good starting principles, as it's the combination of working with many people. So I'm glad you're here, glad you're trusting me. Okay, while vegetables are indeed carbohydrates, they are not counted as carbs in the Power Foods lifestyle. They are in their own category as defined by the Power Foods list. Again, you can download that at powerfoodslifestyle.com. I think there's a little link there that says the Power Foods list. Let's go back to that asterisk talking about, okay, protein amount for each of those 6 meals should be 15 to 30 grams. That's something I call a peak range. Peak ranges are based on an average woman looking for 15 to 30 pounds of fat loss who lives a semi-active lifestyle, probably around 5'4" to 5'7". Peak ranges are discussed in detail in the book and assuming 6 smaller meals per day and a 1,500 calorie target. Now, I will answer a question I get quite often, which is, why are you only catering to women? And I will be very truthful with you guys because that's exactly what I do here at Body Buddies. And the fact is, it's too hard to give numbers for every demographic and every gender and every different height because the nuances are infinite. And so it really detracts from my ability to reach more people and be more potent with my information. And so men, just please start with these principles. Notice that range of 15 to 30 grams. I've coached over 1,000 men. So take the 30 gram, take the higher end of any peak range I give you, multiplied by 6 times a day, and that should give you approximately a very good macronutrient range. Everyone's always like, what should my macros be? Listen to my peak ranges, multiply it by 6 times a day, and then cater it to get to the calories you need, and my goodness, you will have some breakthroughs. Now, will that be easy? No, but get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your brain, because this is arithmetic, my friends. This is the good old math that we were taught up until the 6th grade. You should be able to figure this out, and I do have faith in you that you'll be able to figure it out. Otherwise, let's get on a coaching call. I'll be happy to do that for you. All right, the Power Foods list, it's also on the back page of the paperback book. I would show you guys a copy of the book, but I got cleaned out over Christmas. I have 0 inventory at Mi Casa right now. So I just put in a new order. Hopefully we'll get those very soon. Now I realize that a lot of power foods may be foreign or new to you. So the key is to introduce a few at a time. Don't do too much at once. It's super overwhelming, and just like anything in life, you're going to ditch something that you go too big, too hard, too fast, and I don't want that for you, and you don't want that for you. You want a true lifestyle change. So in phase 1, we're going to focus on the simple foods that are most likely to be familiar to you. As your education increases, feel free to continue adding foods to your Power Foods list. So when I was first beginning my lifestyle change, my transformation, my body journey, and my health journey, I remember I've purchased like every book on the market on nutrition and diet because I wanted to understand it. That was back before really it clicked for me, and my research changed and it shifted and came together in the way that now I teach you guys. And I remember just being so overwhelmed by these lists of foods that I didn't know what they were. I didn't grow up eating that. Like, it was weird to me. I remember how much quinoa freaked me out at first. Or I remember introducing, I mean, even at this point, artichokes, I haven't got to, but every new leafy green, collard greens, red chard, starting to eat more pumpkin. Like, it's just been a crazy journey and evolution. So I just want you to be kind and give yourself permission to go slowly. But the key is choose 3 to 5 foods from each macronutrient category. So your proteins and your veggies and your fats and your carbs. And don't keep every item at your house. That's when you're going to hit back of the fridge syndrome. That's when you're going to be wanting to make the funny videos of like, didn't eat that, had good intentions for that, and I don't want that that for you. I want you to actually be utilizing the foods you're purchasing in your stir fries, in your soups, in your scrambles, in your shakes, and in your steams, whatever that is. And so there's so much power in starting simple. Start with foods familiar to you, and then just slowly increase in. Choose one new protein, one new fat, one new carb, one new veggie, and that way you're getting a rotation going. Okay, energy nutrients. So we talked about PV. This is your anchor. Protein breaks down to amino acids, which it really helps stabilize your blood sugar. Your body does not want to break down protein to use it for energy, except in starvation scenarios. And so one of the worst mistakes you can make is doing a diet very high in protein, too low in energy nutrients, which is your carbs and your fats, aka Atkins. While this does provide really quick body changes and losing body fat, there's also a great deal of muscle wasting. It's called catabolism, not cannibalism, catabolism, the breakdown of muscle tissue, because your body, in the absence of fats and carbs, needs to get something to the brain, and without glucose available, it's going to turn to its last resource, which is your muscle tissue. It's going to break that down because the amino acids can be utilized for glucose, but it is not ideal. This puts a great deal of stress on the kidneys and a great deal of stress on the heart. So this is not an approach I would ever recommend an individual, even in a very, very extreme case of needing to get body fat off. Rather, I would take them into ketosis, which is, most people think Atkins is ketosis. No, it's not. In order to truly hit ketosis, you have to get the protein down, because like I mentioned, in starvation scenarios, your body will think that it needs to break down the protein, and then that produces glucose, and then you can't be using ketones for energy. So that's a whole nother topic for another time, but let's just make sure that our protein doesn't get too high while our fats and carbs are too low. You do need carbs, you do need fats, but the dance and the formula for you will be specific. Carbohydrates and fats are energy nutrients. Work on attaching these to your PV, which is your protein veggie anchor, in every meal. As you learn which foods fall under carbs and which fall under fats, you can quickly begin visualizing what we term to be a complete meal. PVC, that's a complete meal. PVF, that's a complete meal. PVFC, or CF, I don't care how you say it. I switch it up all the time. All of these are examples of complete meals. Now, can you get a double P, double V, triple C, triple F? Sure, because each of those letters represents a range of that particular nutrient. And so the key is that's a little bit further down the road of starting to be able to budget your food without cranking out a calculator. That's the reason that I created that version of Power Foods Lifestyle, was to be able to swap out foods without having to calculate and micromanage every little food I ate to make sure I was still hitting my macros. Instead, it was just a quick journey of memorizing a portion size that fit a P or a V or a C or an F, and then all of a sudden my foods became interchangeable if I followed the strategy of 6 meals a day. And if I was expecting myself to eat 3 PVC and 3 PVF, then I could literally eat anything that fell in those peak ranges and still hit the same macros, same calories, and achieve the same body composition changes. It allowed me to feel very free, and that was the original roots of the Power Foods lifestyle. The carb category will be the most difficult for you to figure out, as many of your non-strategic junk, sugary, and the yummy treats and processed goodies will fall under this category. Many of these foods will be a CF combination. No matter what type of carb you eat, seek to keep sugar under 10 grams for the food source in phase 1. Quick commentary on the CF combination. This is the formula for raising blood cholesterol, for raising LDL, for lowering HDL, good cholesterol. This is also the formula for raising the resting blood sugars. This is a formula for putting on body fat, because what happens is fats are good, whether we're talking about a bad fat like a trans fat or some of the other lesser food sources for fats. Where was I going with this? Basically, fats are good for the most part. The problem is if you are putting carbs, which break down sugar, glucose is sugar, then that oxidizes the fat. Oxidation in the body is not good. What happens to metal when it is out and it gets wet and then air touches it, it oxidizes the metal and it gets a rust on it. The same thing happens in your body as nutrients come in. If they're unstable, let's say like a vegetable oil or a canola oil or a soybean oil or a partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, which are all our bad oils. Those are unstable chemicals in the body. And then you also put high sugar with it. Let's think about a donut. Then that is a formula for wreaking havoc in the body, causing more inflammation, for raising that blood sugar, for putting on body fat. Now, one donut here or there, a non-strategic food, is fine. But as you learn strategy, that's where the safety net is, rather than just eating a food because you want it and because you're not allowing any mindset to really temper these things. And that's why I'm asking you to leave the diet mindset and instead become a strategic thinker and eater, which is a higher level of it. Yes, it is. It is higher level, but you will notice higher level thinking and eating leads to higher level living and loving in every other area of your life. And that's my goal, is to help you become a person of more value, more service, and more love through powering your body. All right, so I think that's a very good stopping point for this first episode of the Power Foods Lifestyle cheat sheet. So I hope this has been of value to you and that you are learning and that you can now take one or two takeaways from what you've learned and you can go apply them and start to feel the difference in your body. So one of the best things to do, here, I'll show you. I always keep like notepads and note cards in my office, or just write down, and then all of a sudden you have notes and you just put them places. And so write down 2 or 3 notes, put them on your fridge, put them on your monitor, put them on the dashboard of your car, put them on your bathroom mirror, and you will be amazed at how much more you are remembering these principles. Bring them into the prefrontal cortex, which is where the energy of your thoughts and your focus is. If you allow them to just come out here, yeah, you know that, but you're not applying it because it's not in the prefrontal cortex. So you bring that back in your mind through repetition by placing yourself reminders or set timers or alarms on your phone. And that's a really great strategy for starting to make a difference in your body. In a day and age where type 2 diabetes is rising, where we have hypothyroidism being the number 2 most prevalent diagnosed condition in America, where heart disease is on the rise, still the number 1 killer in America. We have mental health conditions of depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, panic. These are absolutely and can be extremely impacted for the better if you will start fueling your body strategically. It will take time because your body doesn't instantly change overnight. It's a new wave of chemicals coming in the body, the new building blocks off which it can make the new chemicals and the new cells and the new tissues, that now that vehicle is what provides your life experience. And so it is absolutely worth it to be making these changes. I experience this every day in my life. I couldn't be more grateful, but at the end of the day, you have to figure that out for yourself. So again, some of those resources to go check out, the next place for you would be read the book. You can get my starter kit, which is the paperback book, also the audio files of me reading the book, 3 recipe books that I personally created, and those are all digital. And then also 6 sample starter meal plans so you can start seeing, oh, there's the P, oh, there's the F, oh, there's the C, oh, there's the V. That's how they're paired together. Oh, there's a good portion. Oh, look how those all added up to 1,500 calories, which I do include macros on that sheet. So you can truly learn a lot from studying those sheets. You can get all of that at powerfoodslifestyle.com. That is the best place to start. If you are listening to the podcast, you're watching the YouTube videos, and you're just waiting for that golden moment that you're like, it's time to dive in, this is your sign. Personally, I am always, doing new webinars or classes or new books in my learning and my furthering my education. And sometimes it's challenging to buy a book because I know myself. I just don't know how to carve that time out to genuinely sit and read a book. And so if that's you, that's why the audio files are a dream, because you can listen while you get ready in the morning, while you're doing your food prep, your grocery shopping, just the commute. If you added up the time in your commutes over the course of 1 week, I'll bet that would be enough to have the book listened to. It's absolutely worth it. PowerFoodsLifestyle.com. I'm excited for you to keep learning, keep being here, become that higher level thinker, become a strategist, power your body, one meal, one workout, one day at a time.